so I hope you can actually hear the noise that my laptop is making. Sorry about that. It's, the fan is just broken, let's face it. It's just crap. That's the truth of it. It's never worked. And if we hadn't been in lockdown, I would have gone back to PC World and smacked it down, preferably on somebody's hand. I'm going to fix it. But of course, we have been in lockdown since I got it. Well, even before I got it, so. Okay. So, let us get back to episode 6, which is... Should get rid of my mother's mannequin from the picture. It looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Yep, we know what happened last week. It's truly terrible. Yes, after all the depressing shenanigans of last week, something that, better. Which, yeah. Yes, well that would be true, wouldn't it? I do love the giant seagull. It's kind of awful, but funny. The sound effects, oh dear. Yes, well you shouldn't be shouting like that, you know, 5-year-olds. Oh dear, did that hair do again? To be mean, but I did think when they came back in the last episode, what a fantastic advert against plastic surgery. Because I was really curious, like, I was looking at Billy in her television look and I thought, oh dear, what have they done to her makeup? Because her face looked shiny, like it looked plasticky. And I thought, oh dear. What did they do to her makeup? And then she said something about, oh, that got with Botox. Oh. I mean, you meant your face to look plasticky. Oh, okay. And sister walked in and I thought, oh my god, she had a terrible accident during lockdown. So I thought they'd had to reshape her jaw. It looked awful. And I realised, oh. You paid somebody to do that? Good. I have never heard of it in my life. I usually haven't. Well, I'm glad they've got vegan rations. Presumably. I'd like to think what non-vegan ones would be made out of. Ew. Well, that's good to know. Right from the start, because it's obviously my favourite. Oh, do stop picking on Tia. She actually entertained us, which is more than a lot of you do. Yes, which I never understand. They watch the show for it, do they? I find it incredibly boring, mostly because I never know who the people are. I mean, at least in the first series of Rico, I knew some of them. So we're not having any challenge in this one, we're just having, Well, I'm glad you know it. I have never heard of... I don't even know what she's talking about. But hey. That's it. He's not allowed to wander around. And Tia does make the same. Now we get... We're obsessing over Tia's body again, which is slightly creepy. Yeah, so we could have done... Surely Bessie would have made more So, I mean, at least somebody I know who it is. Not that I know much about her, but beyond music, I mean, I don't know that much about her personality, but why do we need big hair? We have this slightly weird moment where I don't know what it seemed like everyone was trying. They were sort of trying to make them cry. I don't know why. It seemed a very strange thing. I mean, they're missing their families, so let's have a chat about your family. And I'm not. What's the little bomb there? Cute. So, okay. Wow, you got. You see, what I was choosing to do Mary Margolies was a very strange choice. I mean, yeah, you said just add you to the character, but is it funny though? I mean, it's a really difficult choice because, I mean, do you actually, because if you try and pick a character who is already funny, then you feel, oh, we've already got something to work with, they're already in a comedy or whatever. But then it's kind of hard. But then it's quite hard to put your own thing, because you can just quote them. But then you're not even impersonating. I mean, you're just copying. You're just you're stealing their jokes. It's not funny. You could pick someone who, if they were sort of very prim and proper, and it's very they're quite a serious sort of character, so it's quite inappropriate to put them in the kind of Snatch situation. But then you can just end up being filthy, and that's funny, apparently. Well, I don't personally think it is. You sort of do. Like because in the first one, we've had, and that can work, it can not. I mean, you think back to the first one, and yes, like Blue Hydrangea did with Mary Berry, who I know absolutely nothing about, because I've never seen, what was it, Bake Off or something, but yeah, it was very well. I love the look, it's great, but it basically just went with the idea of, oh, here's a sweet old lady making rude jokes. It worked, but then I felt like someone tried to do the same thing kind of with putting David Attenborough in it, which could have been funny, but wasn't really. So yeah, I think it's a difficult one. But the obvious problem, I thought, as soon as I had said that you go to Mary Margolies, I was like, well, how's that going to be funny? Because surely, what is funny about Mary Margolies herself is that she comes across as a terribly sweet, terribly prim sort of old lady. And then she's absolutely filthy. The thing she comes out with, okay, I did not expect a sweet little old lady to say that. But how do you then do that as an impersonation of her? Obviously, Lawrence is not a sweet little old lady. It's a drag queen that you expect to say things like that. So it's not funny. Just because he's dressed as a little old lady doesn't mean he is one, so that's not going to make it funny. Just saying filthy stuff. Who cares? I mean, it's what you expect. So I wasn't sure that was going to work as a choice, and it kind of didn't. So now we have Bimini is apparently going to do Katie Price. Good. At least there's somebody I've heard of. I know absolutely nothing about her beyond the tits. But yeah, that, I mean, I know nothing about it. I mean, I was thinking this, I was like, imagine if I was doing that character I'd pick, and I was like, I can't, because I know absolutely nothing about any celebrities, so I could not impersonate them. But I suppose you can be like a character in a thing. Even then, I don't know any modern TV series. Don't know. My mum's making me watch Downton Abbey now. Watch Ice Queen, I could do that. Yes. I've got the wig too. Anyway, when she cuts her hair later, in other words, I could just use my hair back. I'm not sure how to make that funny, but never mind, you could do. So I thought I was going to do somebody else I've absolutely never heard of, but that's not surprising. So now I'm just going to try and provoke her to make her cry as well, for some reason. This was kind of a bit... I thought he starts talking, and I'm like, we haven't finished. Oh, good. I'm glad Gemma Collins is here, because there's somebody else I've never heard of. When I saw series 1, and as far as I could see, Cheryl Hall was doing an impersonation of herself. So I can finally work out who it was she was meant to be doing an impression of. I mean, it was herself, but I presumed it was some other Essex girl. So it was basically, which is a smart choice. I mean, this is the thing I wondered, because if you have got some quite distinctive accent and you're not very good at doing accents, then it kind of makes sense to pick somebody who at least comes from the same place as you, so you can do it in your own, whereas you don't have to do the accent. That's something. And then, I mean, equally, if you pick somebody, I mean, it's a bit of a safe option, because you're not, but you know, not everyone's a great actor, you know? So if that's the case, you're better off picking somebody whose personality is not too far away from, sorry, your own, but at least from the drag persona that you put on. Pick something that's quite similar to that, because then at least you don't have to stretch your acting too far. It's great if you can, but if you can't, I feel like it was a smart choice, because Cheryl Hall basically can just do the Essex girl. That's what she does. So choose to impersonate a stereotypical Essex girl, and there you go, got it made. I found it slightly strange that neither of the Scottish queens were on for that, because they're both very Scottish, you know. There's a lot of Scottish celebrities out there that I felt like they could have chosen to impersonate, and I feel like that would have made their life a lot easier. And Taylor actually did a pretty good job doing the Australian accent, but what should have done it? Would have made sense. But yeah, this was kind of weird editing, because obviously they didn't get Taste, did they? Or Sister Sister, but Sister Sister was the one that's really glaring, because they missed out Taste and Bimini when they went round on the morning thing as well, didn't they? Or was that just my imagination? I thought they did. But anyway, we'd already seen, you know, with the way it was edited, we saw Taste saying who she was going to be, something I've never heard of, from something I've never heard of, but we saw that, and we had a look, Sister wasn't seen at all, and then we didn't see that, so suddenly the Snatch game starts, and I'm like, is Sister still here? Has she gone home and I didn't notice? Because we had no introduction to her whatsoever, so we don't know who she's being, we know nothing. And, oh, it starts. Okay. I'm like, oh, right. This was weird, this Snatch game too. I don't... Because it seemed like the entire thing consisted of explaining to Ru what everything, every bit of... Hello. Will be good. At least I've heard of her. Know nothing about her. Never heard her speak. But hey, I mean, you think, oh god, another psychic. Psychic Sally. Never heard of it, but okay. How is that funny? Because at least I know Mary Martin's even, so but I guess it's not working. Now we have... I mean, obviously I've never seen it in Britain, but you couldn't die and avoid seeing that creature on the adverts and things. But hey. I expect Taste's one was quite good. I have no idea who this person's meant to be, but... I've never heard of this person, but I will seem to do a good job. I mean... Obviously, I know nothing about her because either. I have never heard her. Never heard her speak, but I presume she's doing a good job because she seems like it. Okay, so Rangar's diet. So what does he put in his mouth? I think it's spotted dick. Okay. And now we have to explain to them what a spotted dick is. Right. Yeah. That's just quoting Mary Margolyes. She said that, didn't she? Okay. This was quite... I looked up what she's actually doing here. What she's parodying. Although it's just quoted. Which, and that was quite funny. Hang on. To explain fish and chips. Yeah, so to the psychic one, you just keep making the same joke about how it's going. So now we have to explain what top of I thought I just wasn't getting the character. What has she started to write this down? Wow. I don't know what the connection is with Eddie Murphy, but we keep mentioning it. Oh, there we go, explaining again. That's rather good. What do we get? Oh, a video. About the timing of this, because I thought it was funny bringing up like with our favourites from series 1, which we did, but I thought like, yeah, people watching this in America, I'm guessing they wouldn't have found that quite so amusing because they're probably quite sick of the sight, but never mind. It's Eddie Murphy. again, right, okay. Is that, again, Scottish Miriam Marley's, apparently it's funny if she mentions bastards and arseholes. It's not funny! Florence Chaney does it. I have no idea what was going on here with Days, but it was funny. It would probably help if I knew who this person was, but this was a good little touch with the lyrics. Well, congratulations to the French. Good. I mean, yeah. I am never going to get Snatch Game because I know nothing about celebrities. But I looked up some of the bits of it afterwards, just out of curiosity. So I looked up what Bimini was getting her from, and I was like, okay, she did do a good job. That was funny. But a lot of the others were a bit... I mean, Tia was basically just making the same joke about Eddie Murphy. I mean, may have been very funny if you'd have got it, but it was still the same joke over and over again. And yeah, I don't get the thing, obsession with doing psychics. You just end up doing the same jokes about, oh, I knew you were going to say that. I mean, I have no idea who Psychic Sally is, but does it sound... I think Lawrence does a strange choice with Miriam Margolyes because I don't see how you make that funny. You know? Because she's funny, but I'm not sure how an impersonation of her, when you're actually someone like that, is funny. And I mean, Ellie did quite a good job of doing that irritating little Britain character, I think. I've seen it, but like, not quite sure why she was Scottish, but hey. But I mean, it was quite a good job, but it wasn't terribly funny. I didn't think. I have no idea who Taze was being, but I thought she did a good job of it. And yeah, I mean, she seemed to do quite a good job of it. I have no idea who this Louis, whatever it was, but I sort of vaguely looked, and I seemed to do a good job of it. Didn't really see much of her, but it seemed quite good. And obviously, from what I then looked up about Bimini, I thought, oh yeah, she was definitely the best. But it wasn't very, inspiring, did it? So now we get all the little tragedy mirror bits. And Lawrence's insecurities. And then we get Ellie. And this was sad. So our category is prehistoric drag. From 1 million years BCE. Yeah, I wasn't sure about this category because I thought, I see, so we're going to have sort of cave women. Oh, we're tiger skin and bones, of course. Which is basically what happened. I mean, Aurora comes out in this, well, just basically Starkers, with a lot of, I mean, the thing about this was, I mean, she obviously spent a lot of, I mean, she talks about, and she said it 3D printed to purpose, like, and I love the way she's done the makeup to, yeah, I mean, you can see it's clearly a very well executed outfit, I'm just not sure about the sort of creativity of the initial concept, if you see what I mean. Because now, I mean, they did all put their own stamp on it, and I appreciate that. Now we have tastes as a sort of voodoo priestess. Yeah. I mean, this was brilliantly sold to us. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of amazing. Yeah, okay. But you could kind of, okay, we're seeing the same things here. I mean, the 90s supermodel with an absurd wig. I did like the touch with the little, yeah, the bone cat was cute. But again, we're going, okay, tiger print and bones. Then we get Tia. Now, at least Tia is trying something different. She's a pterodactyl. I mean, there weren't many of them around. Years ago, but that is irrelevant. And you know, we'll be happy because you can see a waist, which is all we care about, regardless of whether pterodactyls had them or not. I mean, it maybe wasn't greatly detailed, but you know. And now we get, at least Bimini has some imagination. It's coming as a bacteria. What I find weird was that the judges kept making jokes about bacteria, like, so they knew she was a bacteria, and then later they couldn't apparently realise that she was. It's like, well, you clearly had it told to you then, because you knew it then. There we go. Lawrence Cheney. Yeah, I was a bit very underwhelmed by this one. Oh, I do wish they wouldn't use the word realness. Every single one says it. I mean, yes, we have decaying teeth, yes, very nice. It's like, oh, we've got this hourglass. Yes, but you have that every time. I mean, every time she comes out with that kind of silhouette. But it's just tiger print. It was a very nice dress, but that's tiger print. And Elliot, unsurprisingly, does the cartoon version. Yes, we can see your pebbles. It was cute. I like the little the little pebbles touch was cute. But again, that is so predictable. That is so. So sister and Ellie Diamond are both safe. I mean, sister was basically not in this episode. I mean, you hardly saw her. But yeah, I mean, Snatch Game, I suppose, was okay. She made a few jokes, but Ellie didn't. I'm not really sure where I was going with this. Yes, how are you going to go with it? Well, I don't know. How are you? You did. I mean, interpretation. I'm not sure. Different to everybody else. I mean, yes. I mean, it was a bit different. Not very different, but okay. It was a bit of repetition. So now I guess it's one great choice. What told her to do it? The headdress does look a bit like a pigeon, but it's cute. You don't need to be hard on yourself anymore. You are. Oh, what a gorgeous body again. It's getting creepy. It is slightly strange. Yes, it's gorgeous. We just don't know what it is. Well, You should have done. Yes, it's a bad tip. Yes. But at least they did eventually give her credit for being different, even if they didn't quite understand it. She only said that once, actually. Maybe the editing. Yes, it must be the editing. Because she said, she says too many lesbian tropes as well. Only hit one. That wasn't really good. Oh, my voice is going to cry as well. How did it? Kids are so it was about the nicest thing I said about them. Oh no, there's obviously pictures of my cancer. Not that cute. Yeah, I think it does a bit of pressure on you when you get these ones that are big and just the comedy one. Oh, I'm so good at improv. But they seem to be the ones that then really struggle in such a way. I'm not sure what they're really criticised it, although we didn't see a lot of her in the Snatch game, but she seemed to do a perfect job. And I mean, obviously, yeah, she's just bones, it's maybe a bit dull, but it's what everybody else did, at least it was, this was no Tiger Pump. Well, there kind of wasn't a thing, but that sort of thing, but I think just want to figure out she's a super really. She does a very good job. Yeah. She's a great comedian when she's just herself. She's not a fashion woman. Big. We get this again. We don't understand what Bimini was. But hey, she was great in the Snatch game. Yeah. Her look was great too. Because it was different. Yes. Obviously going, but I mean, no way, but we could have. That's right. I mean, this was quite good. It seemed like they were from Russia at the end. So it was a quick getting through the relation. We're running out of time. But I feel like this was just done to shake the ones up because, I mean, it was obvious from the first episode that they'd already chosen the winner. So therefore, it was never going to go home. I don't know, I haven't got around to watching the last episode yet, but I mean, I'm assuming that's 2-1 because it's obvious from episode 1. Like it was from the first episode. But yes, so this was obviously telegraphed, whatever was happening, obviously, this is going to win. Which means Tia wins, which is sad, because I liked Tia. She had a sense of humour. This is a little fun as well, but just it's a shame. But obviously Tia was obviously going. I think the rainbow effect is really great. I didn't notice it. I'm not sure what that has to do with pterodactyls. Really fly over the rainbow. I don't know. But I just think it's pretty. I don't think so. It really wasn't what I was doing all wrong. Yes, it's really great. So yes, that's good. Snatch getting out of the way because it's never an episode I like that much just because I never know who these people are and I can't bother to look them up. Because it's still not going to make it funny if you have to look them up. I'm like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So next is Lockdown Switch. Which is fun. I like design challenges, they're fun. And alright, we've already had one. But I figured that kind of made some sense because they probably had to shake up a little bit. And fit in an extra. Because I'm assuming they had to fit in, because normally they'd have the one where people would come in and, dress up someone else, or, you know, some variant of that, which presumably they couldn't do, so. But I liked that idea. Even though they've had one. It's a bit of a shame because Tia said something about how she'd been practicing making outfits out of rubbish, but when they did the design challenge they had actual material to use. So now they're going to do, yeah, they give them material, but now they're going to give them one, make it out of rubbish. They're doing both. But yeah. But yeah, I know a lot of people like the Snatch game one, but like I say, it's just not my cup of tea just because I never know who the people are that they're impersonating, and as I say, even if I look them up, yeah, quick crash course in, what do you need to know about this person? Like, it doesn't really help, but you know, fine. But I didn't think any of them were that great, really. Like, Bimini was obviously, yeah, did a good job. The other thing is, of course, you only get to see a tiny amount of all of them, so it was a bit, you know, they kind of chose what to, well, I mean, because they choose what to show you in the edit and so on, but yeah, I mean, Bimini was clearly, it was good, but yeah, the whole thing was a bit lackluster. And then with the runway, I mean, when they said that category, I thought, oh god, are we going to come out in tiger skin and bones? I just wasn't sure it was a great, like, choice of category, but then I thought about it and I thought, well, no, there's a lot you could do with that, but they didn't. I did like, I mean, actually, I thought, when I first saw it, I thought, oh god, this is boring, they're all in tiger skin and bones, which is why Bimini stood out so much. But then, actually watching it a second time, I'm thinking, yeah, actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought. They did all put their own stamp on it. They all put a little spin on it, which kind of reflected their personality, which I like. But it was all a bit predictable, apart from Tia as a pterodactyl. But I thought, credit for doing something different. I like that. It still wasn't, because I mean, it was just a dress with wings and a little pigeony hat. And I rather liked the rainbow wig, it was kind of nice, but I have no idea what it has to do with pterodactyls. It was just there, in a way that Tia's wigs are always just kind of there. This is what I have in my drawer. But yeah, you know, I like the fact it was something different anyway. That was cool. But Bimini's was obviously just, you know, it really stood out because there was no tiger skin and bones involved. It was something completely different. So yeah, we shall return for next week with another design challenge, which I really like, actually. I think it's a lot of fun. So